Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Empress Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons.
You're going to have to be happy and be in tune with your star player.
So today's episode, you guys, is all about getting in tune with your star player. This episode is inspired by the infamous Cat Williams. Yeah. So you guys, I wanted to encourage you today to get in tune with your star player. Now, what is your star player? You are your star player. Your star player is your inner essence, your true self, your highest self, right? It is the self that loves itself, the self that rises above everything outside of itself. It is your divine self. And today we're going to talk about ways to get in tune with your star player. Now, why is it important? It's important, okay, just on any level. If you're going to live in this world, this dimension, you have to be in tune with your star player, because it is your star player that gives your lower self, right? The self that's here in the 3D, instructions on how to move, right? And we all want to know how to move. I mean, 2020, if it didn't teach us anything, right? It taught us that we're going to have to move a little differently. Now, if you was in tune with your star player in the year 2019 and you came through 2020 with a solid foundation, then you were able to thrive. Now, if that is not you, that is okay. I am going to share some tips today on how to get in tune with your star player. Let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is that inner voice. It's coming from your highest self. Your highest self is divine, right? Connected directly to source. Source lives in us. So basically, you are source, right? You are source. And you want to listen to your highest self, because your highest self is going to give you information and instructions that's going to be good for everyone involved. It's going to be for the highest good of everyone involved, right? So when you listen to your highest self, you're not going to be doing things that's like lose, win-lose. You're going to have a perspective of win-win for the highest good of all involved, right? And so even if that means that it has to sometime be for your highest good, because you have to serve from your overflow, okay? And we've already learned that. You can go back and listen to the episode, Fill Your Own Cup, and tap into that, where we talk about how to fill your own cup first before you start serving, right? So I'm just going to come from the position that you've already listened to that episode of Fill Your Own Cup. And right now your cup is full, it overflows, and you are ready to move forward. So again, the first step is you want to listen to your intuition. Because if you listen to your intuition, you will not go astray. Your intuition will tell you, some people call it spirit, some people call it the inner voice, some people call it your highest self, whatever name you give it, right? It'll tell you, it's that still voice in you that if you get quiet, you can hear it. If you ask yourself a question, say for example, who am I? You guys know I love this exercise, right? Who am I? And you ask yourself that, and then you just get still. Your highest self will respond to you. Now, how do you know when it's your highest self? Because, sometimes you might be hearing other voices and picking up on other energy. You know it's your highest self because your highest self is going to come from a place of love. It's going to come from a place of truth, honesty, a place of integrity, authenticity, a place of transparency. If you hear a voice that's coming from a place of manipulation, lies, deceit, dishonesty, distrust, anything like that, that's shadow, that is not your highest self. That's actually your lower self. And we don't want to listen to that. We want to listen to our highest self, because your highest self is going to keep you in the light. Now, there have been times where I was on my way home from work. And this is, a while back, because, we're not commuting anymore. But I was on my way home from work and I heard the voice say, turn left here. I turn left there. I don't question it, because later on I found out that something had happened. And had I not turned left, that could have been me, right? So you never know when the still voice will speak to you. Hopefully, if you're in tune with your star player, you'll listen to your intuition at all times. He or she will not lead you astray. I know anytime when I ignore my intuition, I call it the red flags, when she's speaking to me and I'm not listening, I'm blocking her out, trying to whatever. That's when I find myself in situations where I'm like, man, I wished I had a listen, because she tried to tell me, she was telling me, and I wasn't listening. Okay, so that was my lesson to learn. And trust me, you guys, I have learned that sacred love lesson. Listen to your own intuition, right? And then the next thing you want to do is you want to follow your heart. Your heart is the wellspring of light. It says that in the good book. I don't know what scripture that is. You Bible scholars, you can look it up. But it says, your heart is the wellspring of life. It also says, out of the heart flows the issues of life, right? And that is your life center, right? Your life center. So you want to make sure that when you make decisions, right, you listen to your intuition. That's your star player. But then you want to tap into your heart chakra, your heart space. What is your heart telling you? You'll feel like, have you ever just felt where you felt pulled to something and you don't know why? I don't know why, I'm feeling this way. And I'm going to give you an example. Other night, I just heard this song in my head. And it was the song about Pray from Yolanda Adams, a prayer away. And it was in my heart. It started off in my spirit, my highest self. Then it moved to my heart chakra. And before long, because I could hear it in my head, before long, I started singing the song, right? And I don't know all the words to it, and I'm not really a really good singer. I'm gonna leave that up to Yolanda Adams. Shout out to you, Mama, wherever you are in the world. But I started singing the song, and I just started praying. I was like, I don't know who needs prayer in this moment, but the song is telling me to just pray. And I actually posted it on my Facebook. If you guys go over to Sacred Love Lessons on Facebook, you will find the song posted on our page. And I posted the song because somewhere someone needed to hear that song. And then it was like, I don't even think it was a couple hours later, I got word that our dear Queen Mother, Cicely Tyson, had moved over into a different dimension. And shout out to you, Queen Mother, wherever you are in the universe, may you journey well. And it was like, I don't know who the song was for. I don't know if she was, going through the portal at that time when I felt it, or if it was just someone else. Maybe it was someone who watches our Facebook page at Sacred Love Lessons. I don't know. All I know is my star player started singing the song. And then it got into my heart. I started singing it out of my mouth and I posted it. So shout out to you, whoever needed to hear that word. If it was you, if it resonated with you, leave us a message. Come over to our Facebook page and leave us a message and let us know. Okay, so that was that. Listen to your intuition, follow your heart. Pay attention to details. That's number 3. How to get in tune to your star player. Pay attention to details, right? A lot of times we get busy, and I'm talking from personal experience. We get so busy, especially if you think you're multitasking. We get so busy and distracted that where we miss details. And myself have experienced that. I'm including myself. I have experienced that where I've had to go back and do over. And thank God for whiteout and eraser tape and erasers, right? Because you can go back and erase, or redo, rewrite, whatever. In most cases. Now, sometimes, right? Sometimes, and this has been my experience too, sometimes you cannot make it right. And you guys, I remember telling you this story, and if you don't remember, I'll tell you again. This was years ago. I don't even know what year it was, but I was a young attorney, and this was prior to the 2008 market correction. I remember that. I was in Houston. I was practicing real estate law, and I was office sharing with she was a colleague, but I also considered her to be a friend. And she was a mortgage broker and a realtor. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said. I'm really not sure. But I did something to offend her. And that ended our relationship. I still to this day don't know. But and at first, I was really trying to figure it out and what happened and what did I do, and and I was really stuck in my head trying to figure it out because she just stopped fooling with me, right? And so then when I saw a third party friend of ours, I could tell, and I was picking up on the energy. I could tell that, she just wasn't fooling with me anymore. And so I just told the friend, I was like, if you see her, tell her I said hi. So finally one day, I just put a video. This was like years ago, you guys. I put a video out and I just told her, I said, I don't know where you are in the world. I don't know if you'll see this video, but I just want to apologize to you for whatever it is that I did. If I offended you, if I didn't know what I did, but whatever it was, I apologize, right? And then later on in life, because I had to come, my lesson in that example was that I needed to just accept, right? And let go. That was my lesson. Acceptance and letting go. I had to accept that sometimes it just is what it is, right? And you won't have all the answers. You don't need closure. You can create your own closure. You don't need someone else to give you that, right? Everything you need is already inside of you, right? Because you are in tune with your star player, right? And so I had to learn that everything I need is already inside of me. I don't need closure. I don't need to know all of the answers. All I need to do is shine my light and do my part. So I apologize, but it's like a public notice, shout out to all my attorneys out there. When we go to court and we can't find the other party to the lawsuit, we put it out a public notice. We put it in the newspaper, we put it out on the internet, we do a public notice. And so I just issued a public notice for her. I don't know if it got back to her or not. That's not my concern anymore, right? But I am in tune with my star player. And sometimes, right, you can't have a do-over. And you just have to accept that and let it go. And when you are in tune with your star player, you are clear on that, right? And you move forward. And you guys know over here at Sacred Love Lessons, there's only one direction, and that is forward. We do not live in the past over here, right? So the next thing is you want to make choices that are right for your soul and right for your highest good. And not just yours, okay? Not just your highest good, but for the highest good of all. And if Empress Elisa, wife goddess, was here today, she would expound upon that, because that's her position, for the highest good of all, right? Because we honestly believe in that here. And so just to recap, okay, how to get in tune with your star player. 1, you want to listen to your intuition. 2, follow your heart. 3, pay attention to details. And 4, make choices that are right for your soul and for the highest good of all. So that's all I have for you guys today. When you get a chance, go over to houseofsacredlove.com, House of Sacred Love, where you will find webinars and spiritual and personal development classes to help you get in tune with your star player. And until we speak again, be the light.